Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we are working from a photo again. This will be what, the 11th? The 11th of the series of trying to make something from a photo. This time it was sent to me by my Newtcraft, who was curious about this one. And I think I kind of feel like she's got me once again with these ones with the little holes in it. Um, all right, so I'm going to try to rotate this thing because I want a version that's going straight up and down. And it's so hard to tell. Hang on. I'm going to bring one of these little guide things over here in. Yeah, see, look, that makes it really easy. Like having a guideline to work off of. Heck yeah. That's awesome. Um, So now, I guess we're going to use this green one here because like the blue one kind of goes off the top. I'm not sure. I'm kind of going off of what she thought the number of strings were. So we already pulled up this, which is it's 6 strings going into the braid or 12 strings coming down. So we will see. And we need to maybe make this a bit bigger. That's good. And we will put that to a new layer, which means I can still move this up here to where I need it to be. So it doesn't have a diamondy start. I wonder, should we just make this our own and just kind of go at this with our own whatevers? I think so. Yeah, why not, right? All right, so we need 2 colors. What are we going to use here today? Let's go with, it's going to be like a dark and a light. So let's go with a really dark sort of purpley color. And we need our paint tool, and we need to select the layer that we are painting on. Otherwise, this layer system doesn't work right. So that's totally a thing. So if you're not quite familiar with Gimp, that's something to take into an account, is there are layers. All right, so we know that these 2 strings here are going to be this dark purple. And we know that it skips this knot here. So this string, the string that's here is just going to come straight down, and this one will come straight down. Makes it a little bit weird, but at the end of the day, it won't hurt anything. So there's a string here, there's a string here. So in this, wherever these ones come together, they get skipped. But I think we're going to, I think, let's find a nice lighter purple. There we go. I think we're not going to do that in the first rows just because it would just make it kind of unsteady how the thing starts. So we can skip down here, but I think the key is to keep those like that, right? Because we want it to be interesting, we want it to be fun, but we also want it to be structural, you know, and hold itself together and do what it's supposed to do. So what do we got here? We need to figure out where those strings came from. And this one is pretty obvious, right? This is just coming this way. We need one to come this way. So since this one turned, that makes sense right there. So look at this. We're like right out the gate, we are totally mastering this thing. There's still a number of colors. I don't know where they're going. I don't know what happens down here. So then it's inside of this is the dark again. So, and the dark just makes this little diamond. Okay. So let's make our diamond on this side. And again, these get skipped. And am I right? This one gets skipped. It skips two, doesn't it? Right? So this and this. Is that right? I hope that's right. It seems right. Okay. And then after that, these come in this way. And then this is what is down here. Okay. So now we need to figure out some other strings that are involved because it's starting to do stuff and we need to have that figured out. So this dark, there's a dark one coming through here, right? But that's not going to help us up here. So this has to sort of be a thing. And then that'll be down this way. So two darks in, two darks out. This has two darks in, this has two darks out. We don't know what this string is over here, but I'm imagining because we have the darks, we have three darks and only two of the lighter colors. I suspect it's going to be a lighter color, but I don't want to make those assumptions just yet. I kind of want to see how this plays out. So this is the dark, and these are what comes down to here. And then these darks come out this way. And this one most likely is what does this. Okay, so now this light color is what gets tied to here and how this gets to down this way. And then this light color is over here and comes that way. And then these both get bounced because these come down and change directions and come that way. There. So now we can do the same on the other side. Like this. So it seems that our last string could really be pretty much either one. It doesn't matter. But for the sake of being able to change out the strings and being able to use them, I suspect it would just make more sense to go ahead and use this color. Plus, if you're going to double up the strings like I am, and I'm going to use really long strings, I'm going to cut it in thirds. It just means I can do this whole thing with 2 skeins of dark and 2 skeins of light. So, yeah. And then you can just periodically just change the string, because if it just stays running down the edge like this, it's not going to get used very much. And that's sort of cool, because then you get to change it with one that does get used a lot. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. This is kind of a little bit like how sometimes I'm given like blindside challenges and stuff. This feels a little bit along those lines, except for there wasn't any kind of pattern or something to kind of go off of to begin with. That's all right. I didn't need it. I am kind of curious. Could we do something interesting at the middle? Could we like maybe not put the holes in it for the center? Well, okay. Instead of filling it all in, let's try to do a quick run now, because now we know how the strings work. It's just going to repeat the same thing. Let's see if we can do something interesting in the middle. Do, do, do. And then I wonder, like, okay, so obviously this is not going to be a terribly difficult bracelet to make. It's intermediate, but um, it's not something where you're going to have to keep marking off on a checklist where you are to see how much further you have or what comes next. It just repeats itself so much that once you get the hang of it, it'll be okay. Um, but I am curious. Can we do something entertaining down here? Do, 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 do. So this is our middle line. Hmm. What if we did that? All right. And then we know that the dark is like this. All right. So that's these. And then this is how the light ones get here. Right, so this is dark, so this could be a dark like that. Do, 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 do. I can sort out the rest. So then right at the very middle, it's got an actual solid pink diamond right in the middle of it with a dark right in the middle of that, which is really, really different. All right, let's, I'm going to probably, well, part of me says I could like do this completely on my own, but another part of me is like, no, I should show you how I did it. You guys might be curious. I don't know. Um, do, 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 do. Right, and then that's, these are pinks. Wonder if it's easier to do the pink ones first. I am doing the right number of holes in this thing, right? There's one in the middle of this and two in the middle of that, yeah. Right, right. And that goes to there. So it is an interesting pattern. It is, I can't speak badly about it. It is interesting. It's going to actually look pretty darn cool. I know that I don't necessarily speak well of ones with the little holes in it, but this one, the holes are kind of small. I doubt that there's going to be a lot of trouble with getting it snagged on stuff. That's usually my big thing is when you put like the bigger slots and stuff into a bracelet, it suddenly becomes capable of getting snagged on stuff. And it's always at the worst time, right? I mean, not that there's like a great time to get snagged on something, but it's super annoying. All right. As close to the middle as I can do. I am going to cheat and take this side over here, line that up, Control C, Control V, and use my flip tool to go horizontal this time. So that way we can fill in, oops, this whole other side over here. Look at that, all done. And then we can grab this tool, Control C, Control V, and this time we'll flip vertically and get the move tool. Whoa, that snapped right on perfectly. Well, that's awesome. And see, like now our center has something that completely doesn't happen anywhere else in the whole pattern. We end up with just this one little diamond, one little solid. Most people glancing at the bracelet won't even notice that. That's not even going to be like on their radar, but for the owner of the bracelet, they'll be like, yeah, that's totally a thing. So, yeah, thanks for watching this long. And thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these things possible. Um, Honestly, I could use all the help I could get around here. So thank you guys very, very much. If you haven't already, maybe hit like on the video. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.